A reading, the Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, I have much more to tell you, but you cannot bear it now. But when he comes, the Spirit of truth, he will guide you to all truth. He will not speak on his own, but he will speak what he hears, and will declare to you the things that are coming. He will glorify me, because he will take from what is mine and declare it to you. Everything that the Father has is mine. For this reason I told you that he will take from what is mine and declare it to you. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Hello. Oh, come on. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. My dad was inducted into the Slippery Rock State University Hall of Fame for basketball a few years back, and this was the word that he used to begin his acceptance speech. Those in attendance responded much like you did the first time, kind of half-heartedly. Perhaps we have grown so used to passing people by that when someone does say hello, we aren't quite sure how or even if to respond. When my dad started at Slippery Rock in Northwest Pennsylvania in 1955, it was simply Slippery Rock State Teachers College, and it was very small. To foster relationships, the president of the college during orientation encouraged every student not to pass someone by without saying hello. It's not good for man to be alone. We were made for relationship. Yesterday, through the grace of God, I was ordained a deacon in the Catholic Church for the Diocese of Knoxville. I know a lot of you have been praying for me, and along with this very public thank you, I will make an effort to personally thank each of you for your prayers and encouragement. I never felt alone in this and am very grateful for all of you. Now, there's a particular order for my gratefulness. I'm most grateful, of course, for my wife, Diana, for believing in me when at times I struggled believing in myself over these past 5.5 years of formation. Diana has the gift of communication through writing and reviewed most of my class papers as well as my reflections before I gave them. With that in mind, know that if I say something wrong or that you don't agree with, it is most likely because I didn't take her advice. I cherish our relationship. I do have plenty of alone time, but I never feel alone. I'm grateful that my parents, at 85 years young, drove 8 hours from the coast of North Carolina to be there yesterday, and I'm grateful for the example that they have set for me. They have been married to each other for now going on 62 years. They continue to be, to me, a prime example of a very real and loving relationship. I am grateful that my son Bobby is here serving and helping me through my first Mass as a deacon. I look forward to 4 years from now when, God willing, he will be ordained a priest, and you will have the privilege of calling him Father. When I do end up serving him, I will have to go up to him like I did with Father Doug before heading over to read the Gospel and say, Father, may I have your blessing? He, along with the other seminarians, priests, and religious, are a great example of relationships as spouses of Christ. It is not good for them to be alone. They support each other, and we are called to support them, to be in some form of relationship with them. Just remember that more than most of us, they need some alone time, and along with our support. I am grateful for all my family and friends that have been a part of my life to this point. I look forward to growing in those relationships, as well as developing new ones. It's a busy world we live in, and unfortunately, our other adult children, Adam, Alexis, Trevin, and Brittany, are in other parts of the country and couldn't be here. Hopefully, they are watching on the live stream and know that we love you, and we love you very much. Let me know. We have people that have been spying on you. Today I have the awesome privilege of standing in front of you to try and explain the mystery that is the Trinity. Three distinct persons in one God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, a perfect union, a perfect relationship. We were told in formation to keep our homilies between 6 to 8 minutes, so you can go ahead and start your timers now. If you haven't guessed already, I'm going to talk about Trinity as relationship. You will rarely hear someone preach on the psalm of the day, but Psalm 8, a psalm about human dignity and creation, is appropriate for this feast because it takes us back to the beginning, creation, which leads us into the understanding that we all are created for love by a God who is love. God said, "Let us make human beings in our image after our likeness." But what does this mean to be created in the image of God? To be created in the image of God signifies that God is our Father and we are His children, created for relationship with God. We are created, and yet we are different from the rest of creation. We are created for relationship and communion with God and with each other. And the more we live in this communion with God and neighbor, the more we image God. The more we love God and neighbor, the more we image God who is love. We cannot in truthfulness call upon that God who is Father of all if we refuse to act in a brotherly way towards certain men, created though they be in God's image, no matter what you think of them. In short, friends, you can only love God as much as you love the person you dislike the most. Let that sink in. We are called to see Christ in each and every person we meet and treat them as we would treat Christ. Yes, it's hard to find Christ in some people, but I also know that it's hard to find Christ in me at times. Be patient. Be kind. Christ is in there somewhere. The ultimate end of our existence on earth is our entry into perfect unity or relationship with the Blessed Trinity. God created many things, and those many things were created by God and called good. And then God created man and woman, and it was not simply good, it was very good. Genesis chapter 2 tells us that it was not good for man to be alone, so He created for man a helper. Not a helper in the sense of someone subservient to the man, but someone to share in God's providence and care by providing loving service. Woman was created out of the side of man, indicating that she is equal to him in dignity. Men, it's no mistake that God saved His best work for last. Let's not forget that. We have to quit treating people, especially women, as things to be used for our pleasure. All relationships are based on some common unifying third. The Father and Son are bound by the Holy Spirit. What third binds your relationships? I grew up in Pittsburgh in the 70s, and most of my relationships involved me, family and friends, and of course, the Steelers. Not a perfect relationship, but certainly more perfect than what the Browns, the Bengals, the Cowboys, Raiders, or some other inferior football fan base had. If one or more of us no longer are interested in that unifying third, or that unifying third no longer exists, the relationship either changes or falls apart. My whole formative years involved fostering some form of relationship. While I did have alone time, I was never really alone. So much of the hate and destruction we see in society can be boiled down to a lack of good relationships. One only need to think most recently of Buffalo, New York, Uvalde, Texas, the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and even close to home, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Social media has opened up a whole world for us, but it can't replace personal, physical contact with another human person. My challenge is that when you leave church today, find someone you don't know, say hello, give them your name, and ask for theirs. Even if it means the person begging at the corner of Cedar Bluff Road in North Peters. Are they scammers? Perhaps. But that doesn't negate the act of mercy that is a simple hello. What is your name? Mine is Bob. I will pray for you. Will you pray for me? We are Catholic, and we have, so it seems, assigned seating. although my wife is out of her assigned seat. Has someone been sitting in front, behind, or next to you every Sunday that you haven't yet introduced yourself to? Today is your opportunity. Throughout the week, don't pass people without at least a hello and a smile. Parents, please instill in your children the need to reach out to those kids that appear to be alone and to develop a relationship with them. Just as bad relationships can foster bad actions, so can being alone, maybe even more so. We are now in what the church calls ordinary time, and these vestments that I'm wearing will begin to change from white to green, signifying hope, new life, and growth. A time to grow in relationship with Christ and our fellow man. Make your smile and a hello something ordinary, and you will see extraordinary things begin to happen. Hello.